In this video, we'll be covering the reference question type. The reference question type depends on the concept of reference and reference. First, what does the question look like? The question looks like something like this. The word, and then they're going to tell you the word in the passage refers to the phrase, and then they're going to tell you the phrase in the passage refers to, or to which of the following does the word X in paragraph 3 refers to. An important thing to consider here is both the word that you're looking for and the answer are in the text, okay? So both the referent and the reference are in the text. You have to find both words in the text. The word that you will be looking for, like the X here, will always be highlighted or in boldface in the text. So you don't have to read or skim through the whole text in order to find it. It will be pretty obvious to which word it's referring to. Now, here we have to have the important concept that I was mentioning at the beginning. So we have a reference and a referent. What is the reference? The reference is the word or phrase that refers to another word or phrase. So here, in this position, we will have the reference. And then, what is the referent? The referent is the word or phrase to which the reference refers to. Okay, so the answer, actually I'm going to put it here, like this will be the answer. Okay, remember, both reference and referent are in the text. Okay, both words have to be contained in the text. Okay, what are examples of this? Let's look at these sentences. Let's look at the first sentence. Joe is my friend. He is a nice person. Here we have a word, in this case the pronoun he, that is referring to the word Joe. How do we know that he is referring to the word Joe? Because he is a personal male single pronoun, and the only singular male noun that we find in the previous sentence is the word Joe. Okay, let's look at the sentence number 2. I like living in Lima. It's a good place. What is the word it is referring to? Yes, it's referring to Lima because it's the only singular noun. Let's look at the third sentence. I don't like that restaurant. Let's not go there. What is the word there referring to? Yes, it's referring to the word restaurant because that's the only place that is mentioned in the previous sentence. I want you to look at these examples and I want you to think of something. Both, or not just both, but let me erase this. The following words, all of the following words, he, it, and there, are different from Joe, Lima, and restaurant in that Joe, Lima, and restaurant refer to a specific thing. Joe is a person. I can think of my friend Joe and I can visualize my friend Joe. I can think of Lima or New York or Bogota and I can visualize those places. I can think of the word restaurant and I can think of a place with tables and chairs. Now, what happens when I say the word he? Unless previously I have mentioned any male, like previously if I have mentioned Joe or Jonathan or Joshua or any other male name, I don't know what the word he is referring to. Same happens with it. It could be referring to a table. It could be referring to a door, to a house, to a cloud, to a dog. We don't know what the word it is referring to. Same thing with the word there. What is the word there referring to? If I don't know, if I haven't previously said the word that is referring to, it means nothing. So this is a very important thing. All the references mean nothing. They don't have any particular meaning. They only contain a meaning when you join them to the previous referent. Okay, and this is very important. And this is going to be important in your writing section too. And in your life too, which means you do not use a reference without a referent. You cannot start a sentence saying he's a nice person and then continue without ever telling me what is the word he referring to. Or you cannot just start a sentence saying like there was or I don't like it there. There is I think there is such an ugly place, and you never tell me what there is referring to. So every reference needs a referent. Okay, that's going to be your rule of thumb. Okay, so how do we match the reference with the referent? If you notice here, usually the referent for the reference will be in the previous sentence. So the reference for he was in the previous sentence, Joe, the reference for it was in the previous sentence, and for there was in the previous sentence too. Now, in these examples that I gave, there was only one reference for each reference, right? So there was only one Joe for a he, there was only one Lima for an it, and only one restaurant for a there. But what happens if I have more than one? So how should I decide to which reference I'm going to match it? I'm going to focus on gender, whether it's male or female. So I'm going to match he with male names or male nouns. I'm going to match she and her with female names and female nouns. I'm going to match number, singular versus plural, you know, the it versus they. I'm going to match the order of appearance, which means for certain reference, the previous word, that the closest word to the reference will usually be the reference. And I'm going to match active versus passive. Like, am I talking about a personal object pronoun or a personal noun pronoun? Sorry, subject pronoun. So that way I'm going to see like to which part of the previous sentence I'm actually referring to. Okay, here are some common reference words. I don't advise you to memorize them. I advise you to look at them and to see what they have in common. If you already know them, that's good, but I don't advise you to sit down and memorize them. So first I have the personal pronouns and adjectives. So he, him, his, like all of these are male singular, all of these are female singular, these are singular, and these are plural. Okay, then I have the reflexive pronouns. Again, remember everything that is male refers to a male, plural with plural, singular with plural. Sorry, singular with singular, plural with plural. The relative, we have the relative pronouns and adverbs, who, whose, whom, which, that, where, when. You may have some problems with that. Don't worry too much about it. You will practice and you will notice it. We have the demonstrative pronouns. This, I'm to here, like everything until number 3. Everything matches with a specific thing, right? You know, he is referring to John or Jonathan or Josh. Himself is referring to Luis or Jose, etc. When we start with the demonstrative pronouns, it's going to be a little bit not that obvious, right? It's not like the word this and that versus this and those are going to either refer to a male or a female. Right. So in these cases, we're just going to focus on on singular or plural, and we're going to focus on the word that is closer to the referent. Another important thing, an important attention, remember for humans, okay, when we refer to a human being, you know, my friend Josh is the one who likes to read a lot, not the one that likes to read a lot. So a very important thing, you know, we always use for humans, we always refer to who, and for objects or animals, we use that. This is very important because in everyday language and everyday English, we say that, you know, my friend Josh is the one that likes to read a lot. But the correct way will always be using who for humans and that for everything else. And then we have other words that will refer to a previous word, like some, few, like countable nouns, countable adjectives, most, many, one. Again, you don't have to memorize them. I'm not going to make you the extensive list. If you want, you can stop the video here and you can copy them. I'm not going to tell you not to do that, but definitely don't sit down and memorize it. You can have a list and check the list while you do homework, but definitely don't just take time to memorize them. Okay, so how should we solve this question? So again, we first read the question. We always read the question first. Then we go and read the word in the text. Remember, the word will be highlighted or in boldface, so you don't have to search for the word like for a very long time. Then we're going to find the matching reference. We're going to find it that it matches both in gender and in number, and we're going to try to find the alternative that corresponds to that. Even after we have found the alternative, we're going to eliminate the wrong choices to make sure that we're not making a mistake. Okay, so what should we not do? We're not going to get distracted with the information. Remember, all we're doing is matching. This is kind of a game of matching. We're just matching the pronoun to the noun or the adjective to the noun. Okay, this is very important. We do not autocorrect. Remember, we do not say, oh, it's not matching because it's singular and plural, but maybe the author just forgot that he was talking about a plural. No, the author never forgets. Okay, remember, this exam is reviewed by a lot of people. They don't make those kind of mistakes. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm saying that it's near impossible. So if it's singular, it's singular. If it's plural, it's plural. And last, don't try to understand everything you read. Remember, this is also a principle for the whole TOEFL. We don't try to understand everything. We just understand whatever is necessary in order for us to find the right answer. Okay, we're gonna do some practice now. I'm gonna give you 1 full minute to solve this question. Remember, read the question first, then go to the text. And in these cases, we're looking for what is the phrase two locations referring to. Okay, go. Okay, time's up. I hope you have an answer. We're still going to analyze the question. Okay, so let's going to apply the strategy. Remember, we are first going to locate the reference and we're going to find all the locations in the previous text. So the reference is these two locations. So now we're going to find all the cases in which we are referring to a location. So all the possibilities that may be a reference for this. So we have Appalachian Highlands, that's a location. Michigan, that's a location. Bahamas, that's a location. Now I'm going to decide which one, or in this case, which ones, because we're talking about two locations, are the reference. So between the Appalachian Highlands, places in Michigan, and the Bahamas, which ones are the locations? If you already have it, that's the answer, that's it. But we're still going to analyze the alternatives, okay? So we're going to analyze alternative number 1, Michigan and the Appalachian Highlands. Again, we're referring to these two locations. So could it be Michigan and the Appalachian Highlands? Why and why not? So remember, when we say these two locations, I'm usually referring to the previous two locations mentioned. Here I have 3 locations, 1, 2, 3. If I choose these 2, okay, I will be leaving this out, the Bahamas out. So I'm saying, like, I'm mentioning the first 2 locations, and then this location has no reference. But I had to mention 2 locations that are together. Another reason why this is not the answer is because the Appalachian Highlands are way behind the reference. You know, it's the Appalachian Highlands, then I'm finishing this sentence, then I finish in this other sentence, then I finish in this other sentence, and then then it comes the reference, right? So it's way too far back to be referring to it. I already changed the subject too many times, so I wouldn't be referring to them. So we have Brazil and the Bahamas. So here's the Bahamas and here's Brazil. Why cannot be that? Because when I say these 2 locations, as the moment I say the word this, I have to be referring to something I already mentioned. And Brazil is after the reference this. So I wouldn't be using the word this to refer to something I haven't mentioned yet and to refer to something I'm about to mention. I have to only be referring to something I already mentioned. Another reason why it's not this is because I'm not even talking about Brazil. I'm talking about Brazil's Amazon River, and this is very important. As soon as I put the apostrophe S, as soon as I put the possessive on Brazil, Brazil is no longer my subject. Brazil is just there to mention where or to which place or to which country the Amazon River belongs. So the actual subject is the Amazon River, not Brazil. Okay, and this is a very common mistake. Be very careful. Like, am I talking about Brazil or am I talking about whatever belongs to Brazil? So it's not this one. Let's go to number 3, Appalachian Highlands and Brazil. Same thing. This has to refer to something that comes before, not to something that comes after. That's why it's not Brazil. And remember, I'm not even talking about Brazil. I'm talking about Brazil's Amazon River. Okay, this is very important to remember to which specific thing I'm talking about. And finally, Bahamas and a few places in Michigan. Both are places that I am referring to before the use of the word this, like this word. Okay, they are both in the previous sentence and they're both together. So this will be my answer. Okay, Now I want you to practice on more. You're going to do, from the THOMSON book, you're going to do exercise 6.1 and exercise 6.2. I told you, like, sometimes you don't do the point 1 exercises in the book. In this case, you will do, because it has a very important exercise. So 6.1 will look like this. You have a sentence, okay? And then you have, well, I don't think you can see, but this is like the highlighted word that I'm looking for, okay? It's kind of not correctly highlighted, so you're gonna kind of have to see through it and see like the word that seems that it was highlighted, because it's a very old copy, okay? Like the word that seems highlighted, that will be the highlighted word. Okay, so what you will do is you will read the sentence, find a highlighted word, and write down the word to which this word is referring to. You're going to do that through all 6.1, and then you're going to go to 6.2. 6.2, it still kind of has the old copy problem, like you don't, like, for example, here, the word them, and if you see it, like, it's not really quite highlighted, but it's not impossible to see either. So here I have it. So if you see, there is a difference. You can see like the little dots on top of the word that signal that it was a highlighted word. Now, exercise 6.2 does contain multiple choices, so you will be able to mark the answer. Okay, you will do 6.1, you will do 6.2, and you will check the answers with the answer key that is also shared in the same folder. Okay, I hope this was a good explanation for you. Remember, you can leave your questions in the comments and keep up with the list of question types for the reading section of the TOEFL. I will also include more question types and more comments. So remember to like, subscribe, and share with somebody you think may have a good use for these videos. See you next video. Bye.